Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Assessing Hillary Clinton's status in America. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. A new poll by the New York Times surprised me. Says Hillary Clinton's trustworthy numbers have actually risen by 6 points since the email and Clinton Foundation controversies. They're up. March, 42% of respondents found her honest. In April, 48%. 45% believe she's not trustworthy. It's a different story in the latest Fox News poll, however. That one says 45% believe Secretary Clinton is honest, 51% do not. Now, the Times poll was comprised of 41% Democrats, 34% Republicans. The rest do not define themselves. But in the Fox News poll, it's even. 38% Democrat, same for the Republican respondents. So you can see the New York Times poll is skewed. Paper says it doesn't ask affiliation until after the random sampling, but so what? If you want accurate numbers, you can't tilt to a party, even if it's not by design. That's the problem with the American press. Its methodology is largely a secret, a footnote, while a front page headline in the New York Times today is very helpful to the Clinton campaign. By the way, it's worth noting that the Times did break some of the Clinton Foundation stuff. Talking Points has been in business for about 19 years, and in that time, I've seen a massive shift in how information is delivered to the American people today. Americans get much of their news from dishonest websites, which are in business to distort the truth, not report it. Also, the urban newspapers, including USA Today, are left on the editorial page. Same thing with the network TV news, far more liberal sentiment than conservative. So Hillary Clinton has a huge advantage in the upcoming presidential race. And here's another big plus for her. In the Times poll, 55% of respondents say they don't know enough about the Clinton Foundation story to form a judgment. Again, this goes directly to a distracted public, a country which is now largely addicted to individual pursuits, not assessing what's best for the nation. Americans who consume news and information have more vehicles available than ever before. We're not Germany in the 30s or Russia under Stalin. We can get to the truth if we put in the effort, but many of us do not do that. These people are called low information voters. And those folks can easily be manipulated by a dishonest media and clever politicians. With terrorism all over the place and a shaken economy, the stakes are very high for all of us. Misleading polls, headlines, and internet deception are legion and a threat to our safety and prosperity. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight reaction with us, purveyor BernardGoldberg.com. Mr. Goldberg, am I overstating here?
No, probably not. We live in what we call the information age. There's more information than we've ever had before, but I think a lot of people go to places to get the information they want to get. And we're more polarized than we have been certainly since the Vietnam War, and before that, the Civil War, probably. It's not a rosy picture you painted, and I think you're pretty close to the truth.
So because it becomes a huge advantage for the Democratic Party in the presidential sweepstakes to have one candidate be portrayed a certain way, and of course the demonization of the Republicans hasn't started yet, but it will. But what struck me about this is that we've always had talk radio for the last 30 years, okay? And in talk radio, people seek out, as you just pointed out, their own opinion primarily. That's why Air America went down, because there weren't enough crazy left loons to support it. But talk radio was entertainment. It's entertainment. This time, you have a news headline, front page of the New York Times today. You know, Hillary Clinton not taking a hit. But you'd have to go into the weeds to find out that the poll has far more Democrats than the Republicans.
Well, it was a CBS New York Times poll. Okay, right. Here's the headline on the CBS part of the poll. Ready?
Yep.
Poll, the 2016 presidential race. That's fair. That's factual.
Okay.
That's all. And there was a subheadline. Some Democrat voters want Hillary Clinton to have some competition. That's fair. Here was the New York Times headline. Hillary Clinton's appeal survives scrutiny.
Yeah.
It's like, not survives temporarily, not her poll numbers went up a little bit. It sounds definitive. It sounds like it's all over. She survives. Let's move on to something else.
But even that isn't accurate, because she survived scrutiny from more Democrats.
Well, yes.
If you have it even, as Fox News did, then you see that her trustworthiness is 6 points lower.
Now, that's a very important point.
Yes.
That's a very important point. Because, and as you said, even if it's not intentional, even if you go out and survey 2,500 people and it turns out that there are more Democrats than Republicans, then you got to
balance it. You got to ask more people.
Well, you got to figure out a way to make it 50-50. Otherwise, well, what happens if you did a poll? What if you did a poll and it was 75% Republicans and 25% Democrats, and it said Hillary Clinton's a jerk and we'd never vote for her? You wouldn't have that headline in the New York Times,
right? But they wouldn't do that. I don't believe they would do it.
Well, of course not, because
the fix is in. I really think the fix is in, and that's a real powerful accusation coming from a journalist. That I'm saying that in certain precincts. They are going to do, they being the media, anything they can to get a certain person elected. Now, I got to have one caveat. The New York Times did get out front on the Clinton Foundation story.
Well, wait a second. You're partially right. You're right about that on the 23rd of April, and they haven't done another story since.
No, but they did it.
Yeah, but do you think any Republican would get away with what Hillary Clinton's getting away with? She's running for president, and she's not talking. She hasn't talked about any of this. If there was only one Republican in the race, and that Republican had a serious chance of becoming president, and there was allegations of wrongdoing involving a lot of money and a foundation that Republican's family was in control, do you think the media would do one story on the 23rd of April?
Well, we had that with Mitt Romney, didn't we not? Did we have Cayman banking with Mitt Romney, which was a big story for quite some time, and it really did turn out to be nothing there.
No, but the quite some time is the key part.
Right.
And look, I spoke to somebody today who also said he thinks the fix is in. They're circling the wagons, and
is this a credible person or just somebody you have lunch with and?
No, some guy named Lenny. I saw it.
It's Lenny, right? That's what is this a person who knows, or is this somebody who?
It's a journalist.
A journalist
who we both know. Who, while I'm not clear about his mental state, is a pretty knowledgeable guy.
But if you mentioned his name, he'd be in trouble, wouldn't he?
Well, I wouldn't mention his name
because
it was it was a private conversation.
But if you did, he would be in trouble with the organization for whom he works.
No, not in this case.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay, but you don't want to mention his name?
No.
All right, because I'm curious about who it is.
No.
So, summing up, I believe that the fix is in already, and you believe the fix is in.
Well, look, it's no shock that the so-called mainstream media tilts. I mean, I hesitate to even say this because it's so obvious, tilts left. But a Republican would not get away with what Hillary Clinton is getting away with. She's giving the media the silent treatment. Here's the strategy in a nutshell.
Only 15 seconds.
I could do it in 10 seconds. If we don't say anything, sooner or later it's going to become old news. And you know what? The media may buy that because they bought it in the past.
Unless, there is an investigation, which we have called for. Bernie Goldberg, everybody, next on